Hi everyone, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be giving advice to a 20-year-old, or advice what would I do if I was 20-year-olds again. So I'm going to go through 7 things that I wish I knew when I was 20, essentially. So number one is stay physically healthy, and this is probably the number one most important in terms of my 7 tips here. So staying healthy, working out consistently, going to the gym, or it could be other exercises that you're interested in. So maybe you find gym a bit boring, but maybe you play football, play tennis, go for runs, etc. But making sure you're physically active on a consistent basis and schedule is really important. And so the reason why this is really important is that, to me, in my experience, in my opinion, is that life is like a journey, and you're going to go through a lot of challenges and tasks, projects, what have you. And in order to go through these challenges and tasks and projects, etc., like, your body has to make the jump. And in order for your body to make the jump, the body must be ready and it must be healthy. So the body is like a vehicle, and in order for you to drive that vehicle must be maintained as best as possible. And so you want to stay physically healthy, making sure your vehicle is as pristine as and as reliable as can be to make that journey. If you have a vehicle that you kind of treating poorly, whether that be through your diet, your lack of exercise, that car is not going to make that 1,000-mile journey. It's just going to stop at like 200 miles. It's going to have a punctured tire. It's gonna just blow out the engine after a while. So your body must be in excellent shape, excellent condition for your vehicle to make that journey. Without your body being in a good condition, it will not be able to do that 1,000-mile journey, which life is. And you're going to overcome a lot of obstacles. You're going to overcome a lot of different things along the road. So your body must be in pristine condition for this life journey. And just to add to that, challenging things in life require a really strong body and physically healthy body, whether that be through your workout or your diet. And I think diet comes into play here, because as soon as you start working out, your mind kind of subconsciously wants to eat more cleaner, more healthier, because you know your body essentially is so important for this life journey that you're going to be on. Next one related to this is being mentally healthy. And what I mean by this is the consumption of information. So not only is your body consuming, uh, in terms of your diet, calories, good calories, bad calories, but also your workout. Are you doing a lot of exercise in the gym, etc.? But also the consumption of information is equally important. So what sort of information are you putting into your mind? And also, what are you coming out of it as well? So when I talk about the consumption of information, is what books are you reading? What videos are you watching? What articles are you reading online? What are you researching online? And so you want to tend to consume information that's like useful to your goals, etc. It could be business books, it could be self-help books, it could be other information that you consume in terms of documentaries, etc. And obviously, like, watching movies or TV series in moderation is okay. What is not so obvious is the bad consumption of information. So I know the human mind tends to want to watch things that maybe not so good for you sometimes. So maybe some videos on Twitter or Reddit that you're consuming, in your mind, that might not be good for you. So, like, I don't know, car crashes or something that's not very good for your mind. So, and I think that's really important in terms of your mind, in terms of its units of capacity. So I see every day as a certain amount of units that your mind can consume during the day. So, say if you have 10 units for the day that your mind can consume in terms of information, say if you use 9 out of those 10 units for consuming information on like TikTok, for example, whereas on another day, you could be consuming using 9 out of those 10 units for consuming, say, a book that's useful for self help, or a business book, or something on finance, or something that will help you in the long term. So, just being very careful about what information you consume and just trying to moderate the amount of unhealthy consumption that your mind consumes in a single day is really important, because over time that kind of stacks up. So the more bad stuff you consume in your mind, it's going to add up and affect how your brain works in a certain way. But if you consume positive information on a daily basis, you're going to have a much more healthier mindset in the long term as well. Third thing is probably going to sound obvious, but not a lot of people do this actually, is pick things that you want to do. What I mean by this is essentially thinking about what society is telling you and what your peers are doing as opposed to what you want to do. So an example of this, back in university, like a lot of my peers or fellow students, they wanted to go into like banking or consulting. And at the time, I thought, okay, yeah, let's, seems like a stable career. Let's kind of do this. But it wasn't actually something I wanted at the time. And I think it's very easy to fall into a mindset, especially when you're so young, to kind of do what other people are doing and kind of doing what society tells you to do, because that's considered the safe option, as opposed to thinking about what you really want to do. And I think that is kind of obvious in a way, but it does take a lot of courage to go against the grain and pick things that you want to do, as opposed to what society tells you to do. So that's really important, to picking things that you want to do truly, and really thinking about what do you want your long-term goals to be, what do you want your career goals to be, what you want your life goals to be, and really sticking with that, and not necessarily letting society dictate what you want to do. So number 4 is trust your instincts. So as I've gotten older, I realized that my instincts are pretty good. And what I mean by that is in terms of people and decisions as well. So I think over time, your knowledge and instincts about people develop over time. You just get smarter about how you deal with people, and yeah, what people you enjoy interacting with, what people you don't enjoy interacting with. So nowadays, I kind of trust my instincts about people, whether that be dealing with people in a work setting or a social setting. I kind of know what people I enjoy hanging out with, or I trust in a work situation. So really trusting your instincts. There's a reason why you have good instincts about someone or you don't trust someone. I think that's from all that evolution in terms of how you interact with different tribes or different people. So it's really important that you listen to that subconscious part of you, because that's been developed over a period of time in terms of evolution, in terms of interacting with different tribes. So there's a reason why your instincts are saying this person is bad, and perhaps you should be wary of this person in the future. Yeah, to me, that's really important, trusting my instincts about people. Yeah, and dealing with it accordingly. And so also trusting your instincts in terms of decision making as well. So if there's a certain ambiguous decision, that you can take one route or the other. So nowadays I trust my instincts about certain decisions that I need to make. Whereas before I didn't do that. I kind of trust with, well, what's the most logical option. I still do that in terms of balancing up both logical and instincts. But if it's kind of 50-50 in terms of logic and instincts, I will usually go with my instincts now because it's um, yeah. In the past, I should have done that, and yeah, I've learned from that. So number 5 is travel. So yeah, what I mean by travel is that if it's within your financial means or you have an option to travel, whether that be through work or an internal transfer, and you want to travel, I would always recommend traveling. I think traveling really enhances your perspective in life and on the world. You're experiencing new cultures, different ways of thinking, different people. I've lived in a couple of countries a few months at a time, and I wish I kind of did more of that. So I've been to a lot of places, but yeah, definitely wish I did a lot more of that. It really enhances your experience. It's also very enjoyable as well. I'm the type of person that really likes kind of new stimulus or new things to learn about and gain knowledge about. So what better way there is than to experience a new culture, a new country, etc. So yeah, I'd always recommend like traveling to a lot of people. It is quite life changing, especially if you're in a country that's completely different to yours. Say if you grew up in the UK and then you suddenly move to Japan or Africa or China. It's just a completely different way of living and a whole different experience. And also, it's really fun as well. I mean, if you live in a different country for a period of time, um, you're gonna meet new people and meet new friends. You're gonna have lots of different like activities that you can do. Yeah, it's just really fun and really opens your mind to a different way of thinking and different way of experiencing the world. So yeah, that's really important. I think if you're young as well. Next is don't spend money on lavish items. So yeah, I think when you start working and getting money from your job salary, I would always recommend do not spend money on lavish items. Really think about it if you really need it. Um, and if you need it, can you make it a bit cheaper? So, for example, a car, do you need to spend $20,000 on a car, or can you get something a bit cheaper? Um, do you need to essentially rent a really expensive apartment? Can you do something a bit cheaper? Do you have to buy a house? Can you live at home, etc.? So don't spend money on lavish items because it's uh, gonna cost, because your time that you spend on your job is really valuable, and you're essentially exchanging your time for money. And once you exchange your money for lavish items, you're exchanging your valuable time for lavish items. So I would recommend not spending money on lavish items. Or if you have to spend money on an item, can you make it cheaper? Does it do the job twice as good or just as good? And equally as important as this, so don't spend money on lavish items because maybe you can use that money for emergency funds or funds in the future, whether you want to go traveling or etc. It gives you that safe space. Say if you lose your job or you suddenly want to quit your job, you have that. You have those savings to rely on. You're not kind of struggling for cash or living paycheck to paycheck. So having that money saved up will give you a really important emergency fund in the future. And just as important as this, I would really recommend investing. This could be an index funds, etc. Something that's kind of steady and reliable. So I would definitely think about investing early because, as a lot of people say, the years compound over time. So if you start investing early, just a little bit, it doesn't have to be too much. Maybe just a little bit, like say maybe like even like 50 or $100 a month, and just keep investing a little bit over time, and you'll see great. I think a lot of compounding interest over time. So I think that's really important. Um, Number 7 is when you're 20 or when you're quite young, it's really important to be social, have hobbies, have activities where you meet a lot of people. So making sure you constantly communicate with a wide variety of people and just learning about different people, different social circles. But I'd always put a caveat to this, and I'd always say that having a small circle of close friends is far better than having lots of people that you're only kind of acquaintances with. So it's much better to have a small circle of friends than a really large group of not so close friends, essentially. Um, but it's also important to be social as well. So just making sure you meet a lot of people, and just learning about different life experiences is very important because you don't know where your connections or networking might end up. And also add to this, you don't have to be friends with everyone. So not everyone you meet is going to be your cup of tea. So you don't have to be best friends with everybody. Like you're not going to get on with everybody. As I said, trust your instincts of people. So some people are good, some people are bad. You just have to trust your instincts, like which people you gel with, which people you don't gel with, and just make your own mind up there. So those are my 7 tips. So if you enjoyed watching this video and you found this useful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time.